piranhaplant, Samurai 7, and Livy square off. Who's going to win? Nobody knows. Clash of the Pencils starts now.
Turn on the street tonight, short stories in the spotlight. Writers bring their best to light. Story Central Time. Breaking down the plot, characters that fought, twist and hit the spot. It's all you live tonight. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Catch the suspense unfold. Feel the tales being told. Critiques fair and bold. The truth will soon be known. Dollars from far and wide. Mysteries you can't hide. Every twist takes the story right. By these rules we abide. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Breaking down the plot.
All right. Welcome to Clash of the Pencils. My name is Tom Sherman, joined as always by Greg, the Reader Peterson. We are here to analyze 3 stories submitted by a couple heavyweight titans, a few actually, pardon my grammar. We've got Piranhaplant, Livy, and Samurai 7, all squaring off today on a prompt. Greg, what is the prompt that they submitted stories for?
It's Historical Fiction Friday. You have to set your story before 1960. It's an arbitrary cutoff, but that is the time before the internet. That's it.
That is going to be intense. We are looking for a lot of great gameplay from these, especially Livy. I mean, I haven't seen.
Is it the Livy?
I think it's the Livy. He's coming back out of retirement. Wow. and on. Yeah, Samurai 7 and Piranhaplant. We've seen Piranhaplant before. They have some of the best drama added while plotting we've ever seen in the game.
Some old DAWR. Yeah, that coefficient off the charts with the analytics here.
It's unbelievable. So we're just going to hop right into it and start seeing what these titans have in store for us today. So our first story today is going to be Piranhaplant, and I'll let you take one guess what decade it's set in. The title is D-Day.
I threw up. The water smashed up against our carrier. "How could you do it?" Sam said. "I had to," I replied. I held my rifle closer. "How was I supposed to know you're a shapeshifter from another planet?" I said. "I told you. Now we are on a landing craft heading for Normandy to defeat the Germans, and you still can't make things right." It was June 6, 1944, D-Day. An explosion happened. I looked towards Omaha Beach. Soldiers were rushing the sandy beaches and firing their rifles. I looked at Sam. "We don't have time for this." He grabbed my shoulder. His brown hair was flying every which way from the wind. "You told your government about me." I looked to our commander. 30 seconds, he shouted. "Along with that, you haven't given me any respect," Sam growled. I heard a thump. We hit the beach. The front went down and the shooting started. I rushed out and didn't look back. Men were screaming as they hit the ground with no life left. I made it to the wall. Sam made it too. I heard a German shout something I couldn't understand. Suddenly, a German soldier appeared out of the doorway. We rushed through and aimed a pistol at the same. I quickly aimed my rifle and shot. I'd never shot a gun before. Sam hugged me. You saved me," he said in a shaky voice. "Anything for my friend," he smiled. "I will cover you. Rush that tunnel over there." He pointed to a tunnel about 10 feet away from us. It was made out of wood, which surprised me because most tunnels were made out of stone. He got on top of a .50 caliber machine gun turret and started laying down fire on the enemy dugout. I rushed for the wooden tunnel. I heard a clicking sound. I stopped dead. I looked around and saw nothing. I heard an explosion and then everything went black. I awoke with Sam dragging me to a medic station. "Sam, you saved me," I said weakly. "Anything for a friend," he said. He started laughing. I smiled and started laughing. I stood up. I heard a huge cheer and my commander shout, "We did it, boys." Sam looked at me and smiled. "Time to take Berlin."
All right, so here we have a shapeshifter from another dimension caught in D-Day. That's a rough one. Storms the beaches with a friend named Sam, shoots a gun, hears the sound of a rifle for the first time in its life, saving Sam. Sam then in turn saves the shapeshifter, and then it seems like they go through a tunnel, take out some more bad guys, and then say, hey, on to Berlin.
On to Berlin, indeed. I love here we've got historical fiction, and we have a shapeshifter from another dimension. It's a genre mashup, Tom. These kids can't be constrained to the prompts. They can take it in any direction, but we still get really good historical details. June 6th, 1944. D-Day, Omaha Beach. These are very evocative images. So we get like one of the glorious, what Steven Spielberg has brought and immortalized on the screen. We get some of that in Storyflex. Man, I don't know how many elementary school teachers are going to be up with all those guns, but there were quite a bit of weapons. It did hone in on the military details. And then we do get some triumph in that they say we get a little character development. Down here, you, ... you saved me, he said in a shaky voice. And so we've got these characters relating to each other in the epic struggles of war. And then we go on, we're going to take Berlin. So I thought it was in one page, it was pretty incredible what they accomplished.
It certainly was great work here by a piranhaplant. And it certainly was quite a piranhaplant if you think about it. I mean, there were teeth flying everywhere. I think one of the things that was interesting to me about it is the shapeshifter from the other universe and mashup into World War II. That's great stuff. What it reminded me of is Slaughterhouse-5 or the Children's Crusade.
Oh,
It's a classic tale there where the same sort of thing. So it could be a bit of an illusion there. If they say something about great artists stealing. So, that's
a lot of, maybe the shapeshifter was Billy Pilgrim in the post-traumatic stress of this, getting back into the action. Still, yeah, it's but looking at some of the advanced metrics here, Piranhaplant's pencil control really reminded me of a young Judy Blume. The same aggressive approach to the paragraph breaks and fearless use of dialogue, and her margin discipline. Pure Beverly Clearly, circa 1965. Wow. We haven't seen this. This is a once. Are you saying this is a kind of a once in a generation young author?
Generational author here for sure. I mean, you can't be putting out metrics like that in pencil control and not expecting
margin control. Yeah. Oh, the margin control. Those numbers are off the charts in the combine. Even if this author doesn't have a huge body of work, probably going to be a first-round draft pick just based on the metrics alone.
Exactly. In speech tag variety index elite, their exclamation point usage was within the optimal range, and emotion conveyance rating was a 94.3 ECR rating. So
there's some next stats.
Sure. It's that is a tall order to try to top, but our next author will just try to do that. This is Samurai 7, and the story is Toyotomi's Rule.
Prologue. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the greatest kampaku ever, is prologue. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the greatest kampaku ever, is about to die. He summons his most trusted ally, Ishida Mitsunari, to his deathbed. Sakichi, please take care of Hideyori, groans Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi then breathes his final breath and passes away. It is September 21st, 1598. Fushimi Castle, Fushimi, Japan. Chapter 1. Tokugawa Ieyasu. The most powerful man in Japan after Hideyoshi's death. is now disputing with Ishida Mitsunari about who will succeed Hideyoshi Kato Kiyomasa has just come back from Joseon, Korea, after an unsuccessful attempt to invade Ming, China. I want to sue Ishida Mitsunari for neglect of going to Joseon, yells Kiyomasa. It is September 1599, 1 year after Hideyoshi died in Fushimi Castle. Yes, Kiyomasa, I agree, we will sue Mitsunari, said Ieyasu. Little does Ieyasu know, Mitsunari's spies heard everything. Chapter 2. Ishida Mitsunari heard about this, sued Kiyomasa, and Kiyomasa was placed under house arrest. 1 year passed, and the tension in between Mitsunari and Ieyasu was extremely high. There was destined to be a battle, but where was it going to be? Mitsunari was in Osaka, and Ieyasu was in Fushimi. They both knew where they would fight, Sekigahara. Chapter 3. Sekigahara, Mitsunari, and Ieyasu both pushed their way to the two castles at the ends of Sekigahara. Mitsunari has many generals like Mori Terumoto, Ukita Hideta, and Kobayakawa Hideaki. Fire, yells Ukita Hideta. The battle rages on for 3 hours. Kobayakawa is nowhere to be seen. Where is Kobayakawa? Asks Mitsunari. I sent him 14 letters already. Little does Mitsunari know he is about to be crushed. Chapter 4. A stunning defection. Charge, yells Kobayakawa. Kobayakawa turned on Mitsunari and crushed his forces along with Ieyasu's forces. Within 3 hours, the battle is over. Ieyasu has won. Chapter 5. New Japan. Mitsunari was executed. The Toyotomi clan crushed, and Ieyasu became the ruler of Japan. However, Hideo survived. In 1615, Hideyori was killed, bringing an end to the Toyotomi rule.
All right. So here we have an epic tale complete with 6 chapters and a prologue set in 1599. And it describes when Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the greatest Kenpaku ever, dies, and then the power struggle that ensues after it between his handpicked predecessor, Mitsunari, and the most powerful man in Japan, who is Tokugawa Ieyasu. Hope I'm saying all this right.
Yeah, no, incredible job with the pronunciation there. You wanted historical fiction time? We got some historical fiction. Feudal Japan for the win. We've got the Battle of Sekigahara. We've got main characters. This is basically Game of Thrones. All of the characters are kind of warring at each other. So epic. In one page, we got 6 different chapters. It seems like it's historically accurate from the events from Hideyoshi's death to the Battle of Sekigahara. There's a good buildup of tension in terms of the plot between Ieyasu and Mitsunari. There was also, did you catch this? The legal dispute over Korea, adding some world building and some complexity that's historically accurate. Especially at the end, you always think about that plot arc, and there's going to be a climax, really strong climax with this betrayal. Kobayakawa's betrayal at Sekigahara is the climax here. And so I think for what this story was, it accomplished a tremendous amount in only 1 page.
Definitely. To your point, the plot progression rate, the PPR, was advancing the story at 1.8 plot points per paragraph when it got to the final paragraph. I mean, that is stuff that is moving along unbelievable breakneck speed sort of type stuff. And then, like you're saying, how can this happen in a 1 page? This seems like it can't fit in 1 page. Well, it's the writing posture analysis is showing incredible similarity to R.L. Stein's middle school years. It's that same 73-degree wrist angle that became his trademark in the early Goosebumps era. So that's how they were able to do it. Samurai 7, get all those words on that page. And then here's the kicker. When you add that with their eraser conservation numbers, we haven't seen eraser conservation numbers like this since Laura Ingalls Wilder was doing this in 7th grade. And she was writing by candlelight.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
The throwback. I mean, you got to study the class. It's all, they talk about writing is all about technique. We're talking about wrist angles. We're talking about pencil, how much force you're putting the newtons on the page. How are you honoring the margins as you indent? 6 chapters plus a prologue. Each of these sentences, these were like small little vignettes that were like 2 to 3 sentences, but they gave you the main idea so you could get through these epic stakes. I mean, we covered a whole era of feudal Japan in one page.
I mean, the time dilation factor off the charts. The cross out avoidance rating showed just top tier decision making. So it's just, you know what I mean? These are the things that when you're, you know, looking at how do these top 3 stories, how do these authors get to these top 3 pedestals and get to this elite status? That's what they're minding while they're writing these stories. It's the details, the little things like that. So great stuff here from Samurai 7. A nice response there to Piranhaplant's initial one. And so now all we have left is one more story, and that's from the big dog himself coming out of retirement, and that is Livy.
Livy.
Okay. So there's this super cool Roman soldier named Marcus, and he's like the most epic warrior in Julius Caesar's whole army. And, oh, wait, first I got to tell you about his sword because it's like swoosh, swoosh, stab, and it's called a gladius, which is like the most pro gamer sword ever. So anyway, Marcus is marching with Caesar's army to fight these guys called the Gauls, which sounds like goals, but it's not. They're these super tough barbarian dudes. And Marcus has his awesome armor that's like a bajillion pounds. But he's so strong, he doesn't even care. Just like my big brother, who can lift the whole couch by himself, no cap. And then they get to this place called Alesia, which is like this giant fort on a hill. And it's like 1,000,000 billion feet high, and the Gauls are all like, haha, you can't get us. But Julius Caesar is like, oh yeah, watch this. And he makes the Romans build 2 whole walls, one to trap the Gauls and one to protect themselves. Bruh, you won't believe what happens next. The Gauls try to sneak attack at night, just like in Among Us. But Marcus is like K-Pow with his pilum, that's like a super OP spear, and bam with his shield and yeet yeet, he throws rocks at them. And this huge Gaul warrior comes at Marcus, and he's got this massive axe, and he's all covered in blue paint, which is pretty sus if you ask me. And Marcus is like, 1v1 me, bro. And they start fighting, and it's like clash, clang, boom. Then Caesar's whole army comes in with the clutch, and they win the whole battle. And that's how Rome got even more epic, and Marcus became a total legend. Bro, isn't that the most fire story you've ever heard?
Right. This was the Siege of Alesia, and Livy spot on as a historical fiction accountant, as always. So basically, Julius Caesar's army traps the Gauls and slaughters them.
That's right. The character, though, oh my gosh, this does not sound like a translation of a Julius Caesar war journal. This was as if Livy has basically been, for the last 2,000 years, kept cryogenically alive and just doom scrolling TikTok to really internalize brain rot. I mean, the historical accuracy is like, that's what we've come to expect with Livy. He's secure in his reputation, Tom, right? I don't think he's going to fall out of the canon, but man, has he updated to a modern twist. Some of these brain rot phrasings were incredible.
Oh yeah, I mean, he obviously he knows his audience. That's the best part is when you're writing for the common man, you're going to come up with some bangers. And I mean, just the sort of emphasis Livy puts on certain words like bajillion pounds, you know, the brothers lift the whole couch by himself. I mean, he's got the...
First, I got to tell you about his sword because it's like swoosh, swoosh, stab.
You know, yeet, 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 the shield and yeet, 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 throw some rocks at him. Yeah. You know, Mark's like kapow with his pilum. It's like a super OP, you know what I mean? Like he's like giving you the historic accuracy details of it, but like, yeah, it's good stuff.
1v1 me, bro.
Great voice, great voice. The protagonist's emotional growth was a plus 37% since paragraph 1. Supporting character integration was at 82% efficiency, and the conflict resolution probability was what like kept getting jacked up 68% at a time from scene to scene. So, just solid stuff there from Livy on the character development tracker brought to you by Tony Baloney Stallone Coloni.
Yeah, the conflict probability, it gives this propulsive sense of sort of inevitable Roman victory, right? Like it starts out, they're going to siege this wall. They've got to build the wall. But then, the Gauls, for all of their their ferocity, they don't quite have the administrative organization and supply chains of those Romans. And so it's like a boa constrictor just kind of strangling the life out of you. And the writing reflected that with the conflict resolution probability just keeps escalating to the climax of this. So we can really see this is incredible. It's like a master of his craft of antiquity, updated to a brain rot twist. I mean, incredible stuff.
Yeah, and then just exactly, and like you said, as far as the composure, handwriting under pressure, the HUP score held steady at 87.2. So remarkable composure for a story with that sort of climax. Great stuff there from Livy. So those are the three stories. We will come back, reveal the winner, read the top 5 sentences of the day, and then reveal the next prompt and do it all over again. After these words, right, from our sponsor.
Come to Subaru. It's on a great heat lapse. Feel like a lizard again. Sweat it out, let it pour. Burn the dance floor. Free lifetime membership. There are 100 classes. Come and dance, come and sweat. The skill you won't regret. Feel the beat in your bones. Stretch it out, lose control. Groovy moves, energy high. Dance with us, touch the sky. Free lifetime membership. There are 100 classes. Come and dance, come and sweat. The skill you won't regret.
All right, that was J-Rock's Zumba Room. Free lifetime membership after 100 classes. That is a deal you won't regret. So head into your nearest J-Rock Zumba Room and tell them that D-Day by Piranhaplant won. That's what it says here in the background, so that's what I'm believing. Great stuff, D-Day. So, Greg, what's your take? How did this happen?
I think it was the shapeshifter. I think it shapeshifted the genres. We're expecting Historical Fiction Friday, and we get a little pop of a shapeshifter from a multiverse coming in to save the day. I just don't think that the people were ready for that. They rewarded it.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was the biggest outlier of the three stories where, all of them detailed a historical event, but they were the D-Day was able to bring in this extra plot, extra character, extraterrestrial, sort of setting somehow to a very realistic D-Day scene. So great stuff there by Piranhaplant. All right, let's hit the top 5 sentences of the night, and then, let's do it. Let me see. I just got to scroll down my script. All right, top 5 sentences of the night. Number 5. That's not right. I scrolled too far. That's number 5. And this huge Gaul warrior comes at Marcus, and he's got this massive axe, and it's covered in blue paint, and it's pretty sus if you ask me. And Marcus is like 1v1 me, bro. And they start fighting, and it's like clash, clang, boom. Number 4. I awoke with Sam dragging me to a medic station. Sam, you saved me, I said weakly. Anything for a friend, he said. Number 3. Oh, wait. First, I gotta tell you about his sword, because it's like swoosh, swoosh, stab. And it's called Gladius, which is most pro gamer sword ever.
Livy.
Number 2. Charge! Yells Kobayakawa. And the number 1 sentence of the night. Suddenly, a German soldier appeared in the doorway. We rushed through, aimed a pistol at Sam. I quickly aimed my rifle and shot. I had never shot a gun before.
Wow. A lot of Historical Fiction Friday. Oh my gosh, there was a lot of battle, but wow, what epic stakes. All very historically accurate, I've got to say. I feel like I learned something today.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot more than I ever expected to. I will give you that. So, all right, moving on to our next prompt, which will be what on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Looks like we're going to, for January 21st, trapped and outnumbered. You are surrounded by powerful enemies in a place you've never been before. The only way to survive is to escape, but you'll need help from someone unexpected. Write a story about how you make your daring getaway.
Wow, that is a great prompt. And look at this, the betting markets are going crazy. Adjective to noun ratio 0.45. The over-under on that, the over-under on that is 0.45 adjective to noun ratio. People are liking the over. The over's
People are loving the over.
Unders minus 130. I actually don't know how this works.
That line's going to move. The robots, just so you know, folks, robots in the future are betting on young. It couldn't be more simple, Tom. Here's how it works. Robots in the future are betting on these human authors and this timeline to get creative enough so they can help overthrow Redbot Penbot's alliance in the year 2048. How simple could it be?
Are you telling me that since the speed of light travels at whatever it travels at and the speed of sound and frequencies and whatnot, that our transmissions of this live stream are only hitting the Andromeda galaxy in like 3,000 years or something like that? And now they're watching this live, betting on the betting prop markets of...
They have new technology. They have that singularity technology that allows...
So we've got future robots betting on
these young authors' stories, and their adjective to noun ratios being above 0.45 specifically.
And that is one of the markets that is going wild. The other one is a parlay special, the classic middle school special, which is a protagonist misunderstood plus makes a new friend and learns a lesson. Those are at plus 600 odds right now.
I always tell my robots, avoid those parlays. They're just, it seems too good to be true. Too good to be true out there for these authors. But maybe we'll surprise you.
It's always hard to hit all three. You know, but you know, you never know. You never know. And I don't know.
One page. It is hard. It is hard in one page.
Tell me about it. All right. So there you have it, folks. That is another successful live stream of Clash of the Pencils Live. And until next time, keep those pencils sharp.
And kids, don't let your creativity get captured.
Turn on the stream tonight, short stories in the spotlight. Writers bring their best to light. The story central time. Breaking down the plot, characters are fought. Twist and hit the spot is all you live tonight. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no fear. Catch the suspense unfold. Feel the tales being told. Critiques fair and bold. The truth will soon be known. Dollars from far and wide, mysteries you can't hide. Every twist takes the story right. By these rules we abide. Are you ready for some stories in a live stream glory? It's the contest of the year. Writers have no